Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with the Manic Genius and the Sophisticated Jerk. So today we got another clip. So, man, what was this clip that you found, man?
Man,
tell us about it.
Yeah, so I actually found this clip. I was just on my feed and I seen something. So apparently this woman was married to this man. It was a shorter marriage, but she already came with 3 kids and 3 baby daddies.
Damn.
And essentially, her new husband, she was cheating on him, and then was trying to get a divorce and keep the house that he had put 170,000 down on, and the house was worth like over 800,000. So it was just like a terrible play, and I'm not gonna give it all away because it's just a wild case. But it's sad. It's sad to know that there are people out here operating like this, and it's sad that a guy clearly with his stuff together, fell for this. But without further ado,
yeah, let me pull it up real quick.
Let's play that
already. Yeah. I'm like, dang, I could go in just without even watching a clip, just initial shit what you play. But let me play it real quick.
So let me read it before you hit it. Mother of 3, pregnant with another man's child, marries man, cheats on him, and now wants a divorce. She wants possession of the marital home the husband put 170,000 down payment on to purchase. Married woman changes story quickly after judge threatens to subpoena. So this is from Rick Party Lives, Power Credit Consultants, and as you can see in the bottom corner, mediocre tutorials and reviews. So it's just this clip is circulating the internet. It's making its rounds. So
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just off of what you read, man, it's kind of it's like, damn. So the judge who knew it was some bullshit was like, man, I'm about to subpoena them texts. She stormed out. She knew what was in them texts already. So, but let me go ahead and play this clip. So,
why is it that you want the house sold?
Well, Jody mentioned that as well because
I didn't ask what he did. I asked, why do you want it sold?
Or my client can answer the question.
So moving on, she actually addresses right here the allegations that she's cheating on her husband.
So you are also communicating with another gentleman now, aren't you?
I have a friend that I text, but I'm not
a male friend.
Yes.
That you are anticipating and romantically texting, correct?
He lives in Chattanooga, so
I didn't ask where he lives.
Okay, well, no, we don't talk like that.
You don't talk
support a friend because I'm going through this and I need a friend, and I don't have a lot of girlfriends that really care, so I'm reaching out to him as a.
We're going to subpoena your text records from him. Oh. And I'm asking you right now, we've already established that you embellish or tell falsehoods. And I'm asking you right now to create a record because we have a court reporter. They are not romantic in nature. Is that correct? Yes or no?
We don't really talk like that over text.
Yes or no?
Not.
I guess I just don't look at it that way.
Not what y'all are going to do when your divorce is over. Can't wait to see him. And so you are not romantically involved with anybody.
I did sleep with him. But we don't talk about it.
The judge.
Look at.
You understand, I called you as a witness first, and I asked you if you were seeing anybody, didn't I?
I'm not seeing him. He lives in Chattanooga.
Oh, you just
did it restart or?
No, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
Having sex with him.
Yeah.
I had sex with him twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Oh, I did sleep with him. Now I have slept with him multiple
about
times.
He lives in Chattanooga. I slept with him twice.
Right. Where?
And 2 times in a hotel.
Oh.
Where?
One time in a hotel, 1 time in a hotel.
Where?
You're still married.
First time was Nashville. Second time was in Murfreesboro.
Oh, you travel around the country for dick.
You did. So you're looking for somebody else to start taking care of?
Yeah.
No, I don't want him. We don't even really talk now because I thought I was going to work it out with my husband.
This guy chose the absolute wrong woman to marry. 3 baby fathers for 3 children. Was pregnant when he proposed. And 3 months after she popped the baby out, married her.
Your Honor, if I could, I'm here on behalf of my client, Mr. Joseph.
Oh, no, it's still going.
We filed a complaint for absolute divorce. In this matter, it's a very, very short-term marriage. The parties were just married in September of 2023. And what we have, Your Honor, is that the crux of this case and really the only asset of this marriage comes down to the parties prior to their marriage purchased a home at 1047 Yellow Creek Highway. My client put down a significant down payment on the home. Well, the down payment was put prior to the marriage, and the purchase was right after the parties married. The property is approximately between $700,000 and $800,000 home, has a significant mortgage on it. What we're asking, Your Honor, is for exclusive possession of the home. Mrs. Botnick, again, this is a short-term marriage. Mrs. Botnick has 3 children from prior relationships. In fact, she was with child at the time of the party's marriage that is not my client's child.
What?
And she has just finished another
pregnant?
custody matter with that child's father. And again, she's not contributing financially. They purchased a vehicle that she is driving. And we are asking that she and the children, and she's allowed her mother, Miss Carol Ledford, to move into the home also.
The mama's
So there's
there.
6 people cohabitating in this home, and my client is having to pay all of meet the financial responsibility of the home. So it's our request that she be ordered to vacate the premises, or in the alternative, given the fact that herself, her 3 children, and her mother are living there, that my client pays 1/6 and she pays 5/6 of all the expenses associated with the home. The home, again, we're going to have an issue. The home has just been purchased. It's very unlikely that there's significant equity. She is not in a position, it's our claim that she's not in a position to buy my client out of the home or get the home refinanced into her own name.
Okay.
But she is not contributing, and she has now begun having extramarital relations, and as a result of that, we want her out of the house.
This sucker married her when it sounds like she had.
Pause real quick.
Yeah,
Damn, that
shout
was a
out-
lot of stuff.
Shout out to her attorney or his attorney. Like his attorney was cooking her. Like his legal team, brought it all out and got her on record stating that she already cheated in the marriage. Like, and just like wow.
Yeah, I'll keep playing it, but we definitely gotta.
Yeah, it was
There's a
a
lot.
lot.
We
It was
go
a
crazy.
lot.
3 kids. One was currently cooking at the point of marriage, does not make any money, moved her mama in, and is now cheating on him. Absolutely ridiculous work. But the information of interest is that down payment on home, which he wants her out of, and rightfully so if she's cheating. Down payment was made prior to marriage, but then the house wasn't closed on until they were married. This guy made so many mistakes.
The approximate purchase price was $800,000. 20% was paid down, which is approximately $160,000
by the man. She ain't paid none of it. And her name's on the deed.
We have filed before the court today is a motion to sell the marital residence, and we would propose that upon its sale, the net proceeds be paid into court, and then we can proceed with the divorce.
Wow.
In that
that's
regard.
crazy.
But I would submit to the court there's no basis to grant Mr. Tootle exclusive possession of the marital home. Ms. Botnick's name is on the deed. It's a marital asset, and submit that she's entitled to reside there just as much as he is.
Wow. This is what happens when you take on liabilities. She had all them dead kids and you.
But did you see the point where I like how the lawyer slipped that in, like, hey, we need to pay the court, aka I got to get paid out of this shit.
Oh yeah, that was the judge. The judge was like, "Hey, you're gonna pay me for my time first. So any net proceeds is coming first to the court. This is what we do."
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want to find yourself in a courtroom.
It's too costly.
Said yes. She had no way to make significant income, and you still said yes.
That is
She moved her
crazy.
mama in, and you still said yes. You put her name on the deed.
State your name, please, ma'am.
Jordan Lindsay Bachnick,
And Ms. Botnick, where do you work?
Envision Healthcare.
And what do you do for Envision Healthcare?
I'm an AP specialist.
And what does that mean?
Accounts payable. I work for the same company as Joseph.
And what is your rate of pay?
$22 an hour.
You work 40 hours a week?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have 3 children by how many different men?
3.
Look how she
Sour
smiles.
cheese.
Yeah.
And how much child support do you get?
I get child support 1 kid and $697.
$697 for what child?
1 child, and I don't get child support from the other 2.
What child do you get the 190?
Sailor, the baby.
Not only was she a single mother, but she was a single mother 3x by 3 other different men. And you still said yes to all of that. This is why there's so much literature or so much media that expect men to be these altruistic, forever forgiving of a woman's past. Meanwhile, her past was the biggest red flag, but you submitted yourself to the red flag the size of Halley's Comet. For what? Damn, did he walk into this situation?
Were in fact pregnant with Sailor at the time that you married?
No,
Or right after you had just had the child?
I just had him. He was born in June and I got married in September.
You proposed to a
And
woman
what
that was
sort
pregnant with
you-
another man's
and
child.
you have, when did your mother move into the home?
She started staying there in October.
October
Gosh,
of
1 month after
2023,
being
right
married?
after y'all married in September, is that correct?
Right.
And what was the reason?
She was helping me with the kids, helping us with the kids.
How much does she
helping us.
pay to live there?
She helps with the kids. So in
She stays
return,
free.
she gets to stay there.
Okay, she helps with your children.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
And
crazy.
so you're just giving her free room and
This guy's a
board?
pillow cushion.
For helping me watch the kids.
She
What
need
does
a
she do
job.
for a living?
She works at
Oh,
Walmart.
she works. She could afford her own crib.
So she's capable of paying something to
Yes.
live there.
Well, she's helping me watch the kids.
That wasn't the question.
At the point in time, did you admit to your husband that you only married him for financial security?
No.
You sure about that?
Yes.
That's your statement under oath?
Yes.
Did you threaten at the point in time when he told you he wanted a divorce, did you threaten to throw yourself against the wall so that you could get an order of protection and kick him out of the house?
No.
Allowed any of your minor children to operate any
Oh,
motor vehicle
wow.
in and around the property?
I let my son drive down the driveway.
And he ran over shrubs and things, is that correct?
One shrub.
And that's your 12-year-old or your 10-year-old?
I let my 10-year-old.
Your 10-year-old's driving a vehicle that caused some slight damage to the property, is that
He
correct?
drove down the driveway and ran over a shrub.
Did you replace it?
No, not yet.
Do you allow your children to shoot arrows into the drywall of the
No.
home? You didn't sit there and videotape it and laugh
I
at it?
videotaped my son shooting an arrow into a cardboard box.
Not into the garage and damaging the property?
No,
Have you contributed to the house payment?
no,
Why not?
because I'm paying for everything else.
What is everything else that you're paying for?
Groceries to stay in the house, and I pay for all my kids. Groceries, clothes.
Pay any of the utilities?
No,
What kind of vehicle are you driving?
Tahoe.
2021 Chevy Tahoe?
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
ma'am.
You acknowledge that the down payment on the home came from his separate funds, do you not?
I'm going to object. That calls for a legal conclusion.
He's like, hey, he's like, shit, this is going
He's like, I
nowhere.
can't.
Like, he's
Hey,
like,
hey,
damn.
hey, hey.
Yeah.
We gotta stop.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, she's cooking. Let her cook.
Yeah, shit. Homegirl was damn. This was a straight up bub. Damn, this is a long ass clip. I'm ready to go in.
Yeah,
I object. That calls
keep
for a
playing it,
legal
man. This is
conclusion as to what separate funds are.
I'll rephrase the question. Did you have any money before when the contract was made on this house?
I had my own money.
How much did you have?
At the time, I don't recall how much I had.
Did you pay $160,000 down on this house?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, I didn't put money down on the
Okay,
house.
why did you say you don't recall?
Well, to your question before that,
Objection asked and answered.
no, I did not pay money on the house.
You know that your husband had money that he put down on this house that was not your money.
Right. After we were married, though, he paid money on the house.
And he paid for your attorney for your paternity actions too, didn't he?
He helped pay for my attorney with Nick.
And how much was that?
What she made was for her.
So you want to ask her questions now, or you want to wait?
What he made was for the family.
When did y'all become romantically involved?
Throughout the time I've known her.
Is this the husband?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't get this far. This is interesting though.
No, it is. It is. I'm like, God damn, like this is homegirl was ratchet as hell, but nah, man, just accountability got to go on him too. This dude was a sucker, man. And
Yeah.
you know, this is why we always be like, man, fuck that provider shit.
Yeah. Find you a woman who actually likes you. Like she likes the dude in Chattanooga. Like
Yeah, my man was busting it open, paying not $1 on the bill. And it's just like, man, you got to come. Like she was keeping her money for herself, and she had the the mouths to feed and stuff. That's the crazy part. So
That
yeah,
is
I mean, my
wild.
man's self-esteem was low as shit, you know. No confidence. My man has sucker written all on him. But yeah, let me continue on with
Different
this.
instances.
And she was having relations with other people during that time too.
Section leading.
Correct. I put down earnest money in August.
How much did you put down?
It's 10,000 in earnest money,
And you put down on the house.
roughly 160 plus the
Yeah, it's
10,000
Yeah.
And where was the source of that money?
came from my income. 120 was in savings, 40 I took a loan against my 401k.
Is there still a loan on the 401k?
Yes,
You took out a loan.
comes out of
for
my
a gold
paycheck.
digger.
How much did y'all purchase the home for?
It was 760,
And what is the monthly payments?
4,200. That doesn't include insurance and taxes.
Did both of you sign the mortgage?
I'm the only one on the mortgage.
Both of you on a
Do you know
deed, but
why?
you were only on the mortgage.
It was better to qualify for
Yeah, I was
interest
about to
rate
say.
under my income
Deposit?
than using both.
So even though
That's
the
what
house is in Georgia,
Yeah,
What's up?
like no, MTR was like, "Oh, you're the only one on the mortgage, but she's on the deed." That actually is a common thing
Mhm.
in marriages. So, for people who don't know, if you have a better credit score than your spouse, it might be, and your spouse if you have a better credit score than your spouse and you can qualify for the property that you're looking at, it's better to put yourself on the mortgage because
I disagree
whoever
with that.
whoever has the higher credit score, that's going to get you the lowest rate. And sometimes it may sound like, oh, well, then they're not going to be liable, for the payments. And yeah, that's true. That is true. But, if you are buying a home with the expectation of, if you're buying a home with the expectation that, oh, you're going to get a divorce, then, maybe you shouldn't buy the home from the get go. But yeah, whoever has the highest credit score, if you guys have credit scores that are in the same, level, then yeah, definitely both should be on the mortgage. But if you have a higher credit score, that could be the difference between, of a $4,200 payment monthly for the same price of the property home, or a $4,500 monthly payment for the same value of the home. So I absolutely understand why he did it that way, because he definitely was the more responsible one and had the higher credit score. But what he should have did was not put her on that deed, because now, due to financial hardship, he could have just sold the house, but now he has to go to court to get her approval, because if she doesn't want the house sold, she just doesn't have to sign.
But I think even if you don't put somebody on a deed and you married, man, they could still it would end up in court anyways.
Oh yeah, it'll end up in court, but what will happen is you can still have the authority to sell it. You just can't spend the money, because the money will go into like a I forget what it's called, but he would have total authority to sell the house, and there would be nothing that she could do.
Yeah.
And
No, because like you said, I could see the percentages on but man, this is why it's important to vet somebody. And this is why
Oh,
we
yeah,
always
yeah, for
push, like,
sure.
man, don't be messing with no broke, I think we the only ones being in this space for like 2 years. We was like, man, we like professional women. We like women with money. And everybody mistakes like having that position. They're like, oh no, they're gonna be combative and this and this. And this is what I always tell people. I'm like, man, like a bad woman is a bad woman. It don't matter if she go to work. It don't matter if she stay at home. If you marry the wrong one, like, man, she's just gonna come for whatever she can. I think there's good women that stay at home. I think there's good women that do careers and stuff. But the one thing, like we always mention, is just like, man, when you get a career person that's willing to contribute, man, they're not gonna have like the mindset typically that if they're willing to like invest in you and put into like the overall house, and they don't have an issue with, their femininity is not conditional. They're not really going to be coming at you like this because they contributed also. So it's not going to be this impact. But for her, she's like, she ain't put $1 in, came with baggage, and still is like trying to take everything and stuff like that. This man done took a loan out of his 401k. So yeah, he's just catching double whammies. But like you said, I understand like the percentages on, getting the lower rate, but even with that, that's why it goes back to the initial start, like moving intentional. And like, it's almost like people don't want to have these like financial discussions. And it's almost like society pushes men to somewhat be stupid. I know we covered it before, where it's almost like people took the words masculinity and provider, and it's almost like you got to operate blind and dumb instead of be like, hey man, what the hell do you bring on the table? Oh man, shouldn't be asking that question. Bullshit. Like if you got value to you, you better ask. I'm asking all questions. Hey, what's your credit score? How much you got in the bank? How do you feel about contributed? All that needs to be on the table, man. And that's going to help you make a proper assessment and stuff. Cause like you won't be in a position like this down the line, like getting jammed up. Cause as you see, like we always talk about it, like how people don't want to pay that money on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at this guy right now where he's in this position, and obviously he don't want to come out of pocket now that he done did all this stuff and he's in court. So it's just like, man, protect yourself. Use logic instead of like all these little surface level society like norms that everybody does and jams them up on the back end. But anything else before I keep playing it?
No, that's it.
All right.
Joint
Walks into
names,
a
the
movie
mortgage
truck.
is only in your name.
Correct.
Damn. But because of love, because he puts this woman on a pedestal and wants to provide her the entire world, he is broke. This is what happens when you don't have boundaries. This is what happens when you are a wet noodle. This is what happens when you do not stand up for yourself as a man. This is what happens when you cannot say no.
What's led to you file? Your Honor, we'll move that in as the next exhibit.
But she wants the land in the house.
First exhibit, is it not?
Yes, that first one. What's led to you filing this divorce, sir?
We started having issues in October, which was relatively shortly after being married. She even told me that her therapist and her discovered that through their therapy that she wasn't really in love with me. And that she
No shit.
wanted consistency and stability for her kids.
Yeah.
And thought that she could love me over time. At that point in time, we talked about getting a divorce. We tried to work it out multiple times, and we kind of wound up back at the same spot.
Because she wants money.
So she had to go to therapy to figure out she didn't love you. Has she contributed anything financially to this marriage?
Other than groceries for her and her kids, no.
Has she made any threats towards you?
Multiple.
Tell me about those.
We got into an argument.
Verbal argument, physical argument, what?
Verbal argument. I'm not a physical person. And we talked about, in that argument, divorce came up, and she wanted me out of the house. She said she would throw herself against the wall and call the cops, say I did it. That was one occasion. Another occasion, she threatened, or she said she called the cops. So I said I'd come to the house, wait for the cops to get there. They never came. Recently, as 2 weeks ago, she said that she was going to call the cops, that I'd hit her in front of her 12-year-old, which obviously I didn't. So multiple times that's happened, to the point where I had to get a camera for the room I stay in to make sure that anything would be videoed to show that I'm not
violent.
a physical person.
Right.
Damn.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Put cameras in
And-
the rooms.
Another thing that kind of got me a little bit, I guess, I came home one day, we were in a fight, and they were going to do a fire in the fire pit that we have, even though we're in the middle of a drought and a heavy windstorm. And when I said not to do it, I was told that not to talk to her kids all that day.
My man got no submission, paying all this shit. My man, this clip is like shooting all that shit. It's like undercutting all those like stupid themes. Like, oh man, you
Yeah,
pay,
provider guys.
you do everything, man. They could be submissive. You're gonna have 100%. My man, like defying all that shit.
Yeah. I mean, people can go on YouTube and talk about this whole providership. This is King Provider right here. This is who you guys are. Like, you know, I'm not saying all of them have like this bad judgment when it comes to discerning if a woman likes them. I'm not saying that by any means, but you know, this is when you blindly follow these YouTube narratives. Be a provider. Like this guy was a provider. He did everything he was supposed to do according to these provider YouTube guys. And look at where it's gotten him. You know, $40,000 he got to repay to his 401k, which, you know, when you borrow from your 401k, it comes with a payback interest in most cases, or you just lose out on the money, and you lose on that, you know, compounding interest. Regardless, it's an L there, and then another L for the $120,000 that he saved working and investing his time from the time he obviously graduated and, you know, worked at the job those hours 9 to 5, day in and day out, to accumulate $120,000 of cash, liquid, gone.
Yeah, I like what MTR said, man, where this dude definitely put on a pedestal, man. And regardless how hard he worked in life, because man, there's a difference. Like, definitely, man, when you find a good woman, man, you treat her right. But like we always preach, it should be reciprocal. They're gonna come in there because like we always said, man, we know a lot of provider guys that do it right. Like, they didn't come in there like, they did it from a family standpoint of like kids and getting homeschooled and stuff. So that's understandable. But this is why we give pushback on some of the messages, when some of those like YouTube gurus and stuff, it's just like, you need to do this and this. It's like, man, you're sending guys into a burning building because a lot of people don't know how to move intentional and stuff. So there's a lot of women that will latch on to, like we always said, the buzzwords like, oh, I'm submissive, I'll do this and this. Then come to find out, once they get over that threshold of being married with you, they flip that switch and they go into demon mode, like this lady is showing. So a lot of those guys typically, man, they end up putting a female on the pedestal because of the looks and stuff. There's a lot of insecurities that some of these guys have. So it's just like in their mind, they're hearing all these messages from like some of these guys on YouTube, like, oh, if you do this, man, they'll be submissive and they'll conform. You'll be the leader in this stuff. And so, like you said, man, it don't happen like that. You have to have the right woman for any situation that you want, man. Whether you want to, we like 50-50. If you want a 50-50, you got to have the right woman that like is on board with that, that's still going to respect you in that manner and still going to have you be the leader in that case. If you want to be the provider, you still got to have a woman that like respects you, actually likes you and stuff like that. There's no shortcuts to this shit. And I think that's where so many guys like this one get mixed up, where, like I said, they think the paying for everything is the end all, man. And how many clips we got to go through where that shows that a lot of people's true nature is like, let me play this long game, get with you, and then, I'm going to go ahead and act out, and I'm going to take your ass to court and take what you have because I done put your ass in a position where, you don't put me on a deed. You done took on these bills. I done moved my mom into the house for my own benefit. Now I'm sleeping with other motherfuckers and stuff. So, damn, man, it's just grimy motherfuckers. Let me play this video again. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
They did not start the fire, thankfully.
So you have financial responsibility for these children, but you don't have father responsibility for these children.
Authority.
Imagine being in your own hold, held hostage by the woman that you married through the decisions, the choices that the children are making, and you being unable to do anything about it. This man simped his way to a horrible life based off of the symmetry in her face. Crazy.
Manic, why is it that you want the house sold?
Well, Jody mentioned that as well because
I didn't ask what he did. I asked, why do you want it sold?
My client can answer the question.
So moving on, she actually addresses right here the allegations that she's cheating on her husband.
So you are also communicating with another gentleman now, aren't you?
I have a friend that I text, but
Okay, we
I'm
can
not
stop it here.
A male friend.
Yes.
Now it's
That
repeating
you are.
All right. Damn. That was a crazy one you found. Shit.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how I found that, but yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that a guy who seemingly made a lot of right decisions when it came to finance, how he clearly neglected um, social elements and spiritual elements, and just a mentality. Just like dude wasn't fat or out of shape, from what we could tell. He was in a suit, the suit fit him like pretty well. But yeah, definitely lacking a lot of discernment that, a lot of, I'm sure a lot of people could have seen this a mile away or seen this coming from a mile away. But yeah, I mean, this is why it's important to be a complete male and to not have an over reliance on any one aspect of, being a male. So this man leaned heavy on his finances. This is the type of guy that definitely a provider type. This is the type of guy that, probably took her out to a nice fancy dinner restaurants, definitely put her on a pedestal. And this is why you can't do that as a man, because there are some women out here that are looking to extract your resources and take advantage of you. And quite frankly, you should only be interested in women that are genuinely interested in you. And they may not look like the woman of your dreams, but when you actually deal with somebody who genuinely likes you, you won't run into these type of issues because this will be so far from their nature. They'll just be happy to be in your presence. So, the monetary factor will be less and less significant the more a woman likes you.
Yeah, men overall, man, gotta stop being infatuated and pedestalizing women to a certain degree. And it's just like, man, if you're not the type of guy that could pull a chick just based off of like you approaching them and you don't have to do the most, then it's just like, man, that's not your lane. And I think some guys get caught up so much with like, I gotta get this like trophy wife to show off to my friends and shit so it could make me feel better. So it's just like, man, you're what a lot of guys tend to do is they want that like arm candy and stuff, and it comes at the cost of like your respect, your dignity. You don't have a peaceful household and stuff. Also, you could just show off like some pictures, some postcards, and be like, yeah, this is my wife, ain't she bad, and stuff like that. Man, you better off with like an average looking chick that like adores you, man, that wants the most for you. So yeah, guys got to get out of that like thing of like wanting to lock down a pretty problem, man, because really that's all she was, man. Like this dude ain't do no like past history checks, past performance, what we call in the contract world, didn't like vet none of her stuff because like you said, it was just like obvious, like, man, she jumped in that marriage quick, like, damn, let me hurry up, jump in this, lock this dude down, and she took advantage from the rip. So it didn't even, it was like a quick timeline. Okay, was pregnant already, so this dude ignored that. Then she already had like bad relations with the other guy. So it was like, man, he was the type of guy, I'm taking her word on everything. He was probably sitting around with her, blaming the dudes for like breaking up and stuff, buying her story, and then got married quick. So just ignored all the red flags just because, like MTR said, man, she had a pretty face, So he ignored all that stuff and put his life in jeopardy. And like I like what you mentioned. It's like, man, for him to like be able to save up like 150 to put down on the house, definitely shows like he got a good work ethic. But a lot of men are just always so quick to throw their money away at, just based on these society norms, or like we keep telling everybody just because like, oh, everybody tells you need to operate this way. So it's like, man, everybody's kind of moving like sheep, doing what like everybody told them to do traditionally, instead of like actually having a mind for yourself and dictating what you want in life, and that's the thing people got to start doing is like, hey man, granted, I could take some nuggets from everybody else, some gems, but I'm going to operate the life how I see fit. That's what a leader does. And guys keep on following and keep on falling victim to these low level tactics and shit. Cause it's not even like she ran high level game. It seemed like she was treating them like shit from the jump. So yeah, he just had like very low, was very insecure, and definitely ain't had no game. So that's definitely what was eating him up. But all right, man, anything else on this? We'll go ahead and close this out.
Nah, man,
this is clip though.
yeah. This is a sad reality that, and this is a sad, scenario that is unfortunately a reality for some men. And there's varying degrees. There's definitely cases worse than this, and plenty cases that are better than this. But it still falls into that same category of, if you are a provider, you run a different level of risk. And, if you lack discernment, that risk just increases. So, shout out to all the providers.
Yeah, we gonna get beat up by some provider dudes, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to all of y'all. These clips. I'm tired of these folks.
This dude is one of your own, so y'all gotta hold that. That's it from me.
All right, then. Yeah, 50, we out of here, man. 50-50. Drizzle, goddamn it.
50, drizzle.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.